of crop. We are in Portland. We are in the Pacific Northwest, specifically here in what we have lovingly dubbed our fallout shelter, our chic fallout shelter, here at the Armory in Portland, courtesy of our friends Tranter Gray. The amazing production company. Thanks for sending us out here. But we are doing hot seats, and we are sitting down with a couple of guys who they're. So we ask everybody their like interesting fact about them.
Right.
And it's always fun to read, but I'm excited to talk to these guys because theirs is that they had a chance meeting. Their agency started with a chance meeting on a beach, which sounds like the beginnings to a beautiful romantic comedy. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome Adam Babkes.
Babkes.
Did it right?
Pretty close.
Okay, as close is good enough for me, especially right now. And Michael Mintz, ladies and gentlemen, welcome the two guys to the show.
Yeah. Welcome, guys.
I'm going to stick with Adam and Michael.
Perfect.
Or it's going to be easier, so that way. Or Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So tell us about that. What is that all about? You guys find each other on a beach? You longingly look into each other's eyes. Like, what happens here?
It's not quite that romantic.
Okay.
There wasn't a lot of romance in it. We were both working for different parts of a marketing company, and ended up kind of on assignment in San Felipe, Mexico.
Okay.
I was working for a college marketing company on one end, and Mike was working for a college marketing company on the other end. And hot day in Mexico. I was sitting there sweating my ass off, and this kind gentleman comes up and offered to buy me a hat.
Nice.
Shade me from the sun, and it was a nice opening conversation to what became 18 years of amazing business.
Nice.
Yeah, well, we met, we were in Los Angeles, we lived in Los Angeles, but we met down in Mexico and then realized that we actually worked blocks away from each other.
Yeah.
So, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you see this guy and you're like, this guy needs a hat. Like, what is he doing without a hat?
I wasn't sober, but...
Okay. Do you have a habit of walking up to people and buying them apparel?
No, this might be the only apparel I've
First
randomly
and
bought a
only
stranger.
time.
You should continue doing it because it sounds like it paid off.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Sounds
I
like
didn't
it's
think
been a
about it that way.
lucrative process. That hat has probably paid for itself time and time again.
You know, I don't even think that hat made its way out of Mexico.
I don't think it did either. Honestly, I don't know where that hat ended up finding its resting place.
No idea.
So when you walked up and we kind of introduced each other and stuff like that, you said we're different from everybody else here because we work in digital.
Correct.
So talk a little bit about that.
So we're website guys.
Yeah.
We build web products.
Okay.
And in the few hours here, I've seen that everybody else, they're illustrators, designers, artists, fine artists by trade. And we started there, and we worked in that space, did a lot of branding for the first few years of our business, but realized that our core competency was actually taking better assets, like assets that these folks make, and extending them into digital properties, creating websites.
I am going to tag, I'm going to get a phone a friend, and I'm going to have Patrick come over here because he is our resident web guy. So come here. Because he can speak into this space a lot better than I can.
The problem is I can't hear anything you are talking about.
Yeah, exactly. I looked over at you as soon as they said web products, and you're like, I can't hear what's happening.
Yeah, I have no idea. So I'll just sit here and continue to listen.
Okay, so these guys, what makes them different is that they work in the digital space. They develop websites. They take assets, fine artists create, and they develop websites. I think that's when Luke tagged you in.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So you know a little bit about that. I don't know.
No,
it seems like you.
Yeah, I do know.
Like,
I'm a
finally
front-end developer.
somebody who can speak to you on your level.
Well, yeah. So with this makeup with the podcast, Andrew's the designer. We tend to talk primarily to designers, and I'm a front-end developer. But I think we've recorded almost 500 episodes. And we've probably talked to 2 people in the digital, like in the web space. It's very few. So no, that's really cool. So and y'all work together. Y'all are the couple that met on the beach.
Correct.
That's right. Great. And so, what's the size of the agency? Like, what type of stuff are you doing for clients?
It's just the two of us.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, we tried expanding at one point. We've hired. We've expanded. We've done other things. We've spent a lot of time. We did some video production for a number of years and things like that, and had production teams.
Sure.
But we discovered is we work best, the two of us.
So what's the future then? What
we found is, number one, we have a very loyal client base. We've been in business for nearly 20 years, 19 and change.
Yeah.
And our first client's still our client today.
Wow.
So our average client lifespan right now is like around a decade. So
Holy cow.
we don't really have to go out and look for work that often. We have a great stable of people that we work with. And so that's enabled us to stay nimble and stay small. And because we develop, we've created efficiency systems for ourselves.
Sure.
And so it makes the two of us, it gives us the ability to churn out work of a much larger agency.
Yeah.
It sounds like you get the best of both worlds because you get the variety of managing multiple clients, the kind of digital agency, that thing. However, it's not a 6-week engagement and then they're gone.
Correct.
So you get to work with them and iterate over
Even our
years.
shortest project is usually 8 to 10 weeks.
Yeah.
And that would be a one-time project with likely follow-up afterward.
Yeah,
So,
that's
like,
awesome.
is the key to having long-term clients just to never give them their own passwords? Like, is that really like?
You know,
one of them.
it's interesting that you asked that question because when we first started building websites, this was back in like 2000. Before there was WordPress, before there were any of these CMS systems, we recognized the need for CMS. One of our first clients had a huge site. They were a student travel. They are a student travel company, and they provided trips to major universities all throughout the U.S. and abroad. And they were obviously in the educational space.
Sure.
So punctuation, grammar, all of those things were so important to them. And they would send us the copy, and it would have mistakes in it. And then they would want to change those mistakes. And we were like, we are not in the business of changing commas.
Right.
Yeah.
So we built our own CMS system, and this was before any of these CMS systems existed. So we've always been let the client do their thing. We actually tell a client when they start with us, we're going to build you the framework and the structure. You're going to fill in the content, and you're going to be responsible for it.
We just realized how we could make ourselves faster, how we could make ourselves more efficient, and honestly, in business, how we could make more money on things, by building systems for ourselves that were really also for clients. It ended up really helping us to extend our business.
Yeah, I mean that makes a ton of sense. I mean, I think recognizing the problem and recognizing that maybe this isn't just a problem for this particular client.
Yeah.
That kind of forward thinking and addressing of problems, I think, is what will give you guys gives people trust in you to continue to work with you and
Exactly.
Well, and
That's
it's
awesome.
also realizing that just because you give someone tools where they can manage themselves, it doesn't mean that you're like losing your business. You're not like equipping someone well. I think some people can be, in some cases, timid about it because you want to feel valuable and needed.
Right.
And I like the idea that no, we can equip people well, we can treat people well, we can build these systems of efficiency for our clients the same way we'd want for ourselves. And that just makes our business even stronger as opposed to pushing everybody out.
It really builds trust, is what we realize, is that by being able to facilitate a client need without necessarily always pushing back a billable with it, like, oh no, your system already does that. All you got to go in there is use it.
Yeah.
Like we built this to do so much more than you're actually using it for today. Oh yeah, go flip that switch or fill in that field or add another graphic. And, it gives people the ability to be agile in their own business without feeling like they're always asking their developer for something.
Well, and I think it also kind of came out of, we started when we were really young. I was 20, I think Adam was 23, 24. And we were always afraid to ask for more money.
Yeah.
After the project budget was exhausted, asking for an extra hour to do something else, we were always afraid that was going to be the thing that was going to tip them over the edge, and we were going to be done. So we tried to build a system that would give them the ability to take the reins from that point forward.
That's great.
And what we found over the years is that wasn't the case, and that most people are willing to spend an extra few bucks to continue the work. But that was really what spurred that process.
Yeah. That's great.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying that's great.
Yeah, I think that a lot of that also is what helped create the relationships that we have with our clients, is that trust base, that we are building things that are for them to enable them.
Yeah, sure.
And that's why our first client's still our client, because we keep building bigger and better and better systems for them that allow them to do their business their way.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, we're going to play a game with you guys. So that's what you guys do well. This is what we do well.
Awesome.
And by what we do well, I mean I'm going to hand it back over to you to do all the talking. So we are the master of one, which means we are each the master of our own category: art and design, TV and film, toys and games. Luke, who is off camera now.
Yeah.
I just realized my hand goes in front of your face every time I do this. You guys are going to become the masters for the next couple of minutes, all right? Each of you will grab one of these tokens. Grab one, flip it over. You will become the master of
Calculated randomness.
Okay.
Calculated randomness and
The sciences.
the sciences.
So
Okay.
this one's a bit tougher, actually. So I don't envy you. This means you get to talk to us about anything. So you don't really have a box right now. So if you were doing something like, for instance, if you flip movies, it could be latest film that you saw, a top 3 list, favorite actors, anything like that. In your case, you just have no bounds. So you get
No
to talk to
boundaries.
us about something that's just been on your mind lately.
That you're passionate
Whoa.
about, that you're super knowledgeable in, something
Thanks
that
for
you're
boxing
new
it
in.
in so that-
Yeah.
Yeah, you actually
Yeah.
have. Well, your box is gigantic too.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you have the sciences. It could be hard or soft sciences.
Okay.
What's been on my mind lately?
Or like video games you've been playing recently.
Beer's been on my mind lately.
Let's talk about
Yeah,
beer.
let's do it.
I'm recently a beer drinker. Was
Okay.
a gin drinker for a number of years. Moved to Portland a couple of weeks ago, actually, and discovered that everybody here drinks beer.
Yes.
It's everywhere.
so
it is literally
when you
everywhere.
say you are a recent beer drinker, a few weeks old.
I mean, to be totally fair, yeah. Like,
Wow.
I mean, I've had beer, obviously.
Sure.
Like everybody's had beer, but the indoctrination on beer in Portland is a whole different.
There's a
different
brewery
bag.
on every corner.
There is.
Everywhere.
And sometimes there's like 3 on a corner, which it doesn't make sense mathematically, but there are 3 there.
Yeah, I mean, right
It's-
here on this corner, you've got at least 3, 4 within spitting
It's
distance.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
What have you discovered in the world of beer as a new drinker? What's the thing that surprised you or?
That beer is really complicated, far more
Yes.
complicated than I really sort of thought it would be. I thought it would be a pick your lane, get in your lane, enjoy a beer.
Sure.
There's a lot of beers that taste like shit.
Yes.
Like really bad beer, like really, really bad beer. Really stinky beer, really fruity beer, really wine-infused beer. Like I said, I thought beer was far more down the fairway. And so recently my mind has just been kind of like just exploding. Just
It's
like the sheer,
overwhelming.
it is totally
Oh
overwhelming.
my gosh, it is. Yeah, absolutely. Do you have a favorite brewery in Portland?
I really enjoy Level.
Level?
They're out by
Okay.
the airport.
Okay.
They make some good beers, nice guys, good environment.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
Yep.
So sciences.
Yeah.
That's broad because I'm pretty sure everything could be related to science. But you get to talk to us about something science related.
Okay. I mean, I'm an engineer, so I
Okay.
do a lot of science-related things, but I'm trying to think outside of that box. I mean, I love art, and one of the things I've recently discovered was neon artists, and so
Okay.
that's definitely science.
Yeah, talk to us about
Yeah.
that. I've not even heard of what this is.
Well, it's, in Portland, there's tons of neon, so you're seeing
Like
all the signs.
neon lights.
Yeah, like neon
Okay.
lights. But it's very scientific, and these guys that do it, it's like you're a combination between a chemist and a glass blower.
Yeah.
And so it's a certain chemical makeup to make each color. And so that's
As far as the gas that's inside of it.
exactly.
Huh.
And so they are blowing the glass to make the shape, to make the art, and then they have to use the chemistry to figure out how to color it. And it's like a live gas in there, like it's alive, and then that's how it stays lit up and colored. And it's really impressive. And to see the things that people do with it, it's amazing.
So how does it? Okay, so if it's alive, it's a living thing. How does it burn out? Do the gases just die? Do they escape? Like, how does that happen?
I mean,
'Cause,
I'm
like, those
certainly
lights
not
aren't-
an expert on this topic, but
Now
you
I'm
are.
fascinated.
No, you are.
I mean, you're the master, so I assume. But now I'm fascinated by this idea.
But you see it all the time, and you never really think like, well, how did it get to be that color? And
Right.
why does it have to be a continuous line all the way through to the power source? But when you start looking at the artistry of it, or like watching a video online of somebody creating one of these pieces, it's so much more than just curving glass around.
I thought the glass was colored.
No, it's what's going inside
That's
of it.
super cool.
That's
Would you
crazy.
like to one day make a neon sign?
I would like to participate in the making of a
Right.
neon sign. It seems like it's a very specific skill
'cause
set.
There's a lot of varied skill sets.
Yes.
Like that's I'm sure just the making of the shapes. That's a huge
Exactly.
amount of
That's
skill by
its whole
itself.
art form, right?
Much less the fact that now we have to like light it and color it and figure all that out.
Yeah.
That's
That's awesome.
a good thing.
All right, well, tell everybody where they can find you guys. They can follow what you're doing. They can, support what you guys are doing.
Babystepsweb.com.
Great.
That's very concise.
Yep.
Yeah.
Master of conciseness.
Yep. We have a shorter
efficiency.
URL, but it's harder to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you guys so much for chatting with us. Welcome to Portland.
Thank you.
Officially, and welcome to beer, the glorious world of beer. And I hope you guys have an incredible rest of your day here at Pop-Up Crop.
Awesome.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thanks, guys.